Colin Cowherd is so mad about the 49ers' easy schedule.
This is an affront to competitive football. And I don't want to hear $55 million Brock Purdy. I don't want to hear any pom-poms when he wins 10 games with this mess of a schedule. This is an affront to competitive football.
That is so dramatic, dude. An affront to competitive football. That is so... Can I just tell you, though, what I find so interesting about the 49ers? What I find so interesting about the 49ers schedule is all the same people. Have you noticed all the same people who said the hard schedule last season didn't matter are now saying that the easy schedule mattered? So last year, when the 49ers would lose, they were like, oh, no excuses, the schedule is no excuse, the schedule is no excuse. But this year, when the schedule is easy, now suddenly it matters. Now they're like, oh, well, then you better win 13 games because the schedule is so easy. But wait a minute, you said the schedule didn't matter last season. I thought you said the schedule doesn't matter. I thought you said the schedule, I'm not gonna name any names, okay? But it rhymes with Grant Cohn. I'm not gonna name any names. Okay, I'm not gonna name any names, but it rhymes with Grant Cohn. No, but all of them that said the schedule didn't matter last season, this season it matters. I thought you said it didn't matter, dude. I thought you said there's no excuses. So why should the easy schedule matter? If the hard schedule didn't matter, why should the easy schedule matter? My point really is that humans are terrible. That is why I would take a dolphin over a human every time, because humans are awful. They're just consistently horrible species, humans. Like if I could only save a 49ers YouTuber or a puppy, of course I'm gonna save the puppy, or like a shark. It doesn't even matter. Not a fan of the human species, I gotta tell you. Other than, Sabrina Carpenter and Jisoo. Other than Sabrina Carpenter and Jisoo, not a huge fan of the species, I gotta say. All right, so if anybody's interested, here is my prediction. At the Saints, win. Jaguars, win. At the Buccaneers, that's a loss. I just feel like we're due to lose in Florida. We've won there so many times. How many more times can we go to Florida and win? I'm going to count that as an L. So that's 2 wins. Falcons at home, that's a win. Texans, that's a loss. Giants, that's a win. Panthers, that's a win. We're at 5 wins. At the Browns, that's a win. Titans, that's a win. Colts, that's a win. Bears, I will count that a win. So that's 9 wins plus 3-3 in the division. That puts us at 12 wins. That makes us 12-5. And then you've got the injury to Nick Bosa, because he always gets injured. He will get injured. Trent Williams, if he doesn't retire, get traded, he will get injured. Jawan Jennings always misses a game. Christian McCaffrey, 100% he's going to get injured. Brock Purdy is small, he runs around, he will get injured. So you'll have Mac Jones as your starter. George Kittle, of course, he's going to get injured. So I think that puts us at about 8 or 9 wins. 8 or 9 wins. That's my prediction. We will be fighting for the playoffs towards the end of the season, which is all you can really hope for. If we're healthy at the end of the season, who knows? I think we can make a nice playoff run if we're healthy towards the end of the season. 8 or 9 wins. Have you seen the Chiefs schedule? The Chiefs are cooked, bro. They got to go to Brazil on top of the Chargers, second year of Harbaugh, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Ravens, Detroit, Washington, Buffalo, at Dallas on Thanksgiving. That's not so easy. Texans, they got to play the Broncos twice a year. So yeah, I think the Chiefs are cooked. The Chiefs are like, how many times have we seen this in sports where a guy wins and you think like, oh my God, how are they ever gonna lose? They always come down. This is why I did bet against Patrick Mahomes when everybody was saying, I don't know, I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I just can't do it. I just can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. That's why I did consistently bet against Patrick Mahomes, because people don't realize, first of all, he's not been good for like how many years now? That's number one. People were late to the party in acknowledging Patrick Mahomes' greatness, and they were late to acknowledging his decline. He has been declining for years. I called that. I was right. You were wrong. I called it. But that is beside the point. The point is, when people win championships, they can't like imagine them losing. But they don't realize, like, look at Giannis. Giannis Antetokounmpo. When he won, right? It seemed like he was just going to keep winning like forever. Like, how are you ever going to stop Giannis? When the Celtics won recently, like, oh, how are you ever going to, they're so great. How are they ever going to lose? That's how sports are. You think when somebody wins, you think like, oh, they're never going to lose. Then they lose. People don't realize how rare it is to get a Tom Brady. Magic Johnson, right? Like, we sort of like devalue Magic. It's hard to believe how many championships Magic Johnson won. That is so rare. And people don't really realize that. That's why I bet against Patrick Mahomes. It was a safe bet. When he was at the peak of his powers, it was a safe bet to say, he's not going to catch Tom Brady. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Yeah, they're cooked. They're cooked. EH says that Scarlett Johansson is greater than Sabrina Carpenter. Stashbox says ScarJo has aged out. It's over. EH responds, that's where you're wrong. I love my women's season. Sabrina Carpenter is just blasted by makeup and is short AF, lol. First of all, I gotta say, I love short women. Makes me feel more like a man. And you're not wrong about the makeup, but I am but a man. Okay, I am but a man, and I am totally vulnerable to feminine wiles, like the makeup, like the promiscuous adjacent faces she makes. I am a sucker for that. I fall for it every time. So you're right, EH, but what can I say? I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. I'm a sucker for makeup and feminine wiles. I fall for it every time. I fall for it every time. Now Vashman says I am woke. I am woke? He says I am virtue signaling. No. He's talking about what I said about if men were removed from society, what would happen. He misunderstands my point. So he's saying, you're virtue signaling. You're virtue signaling. Now what's happening is he has not heard the argument I proposed. He has not heard. Therefore, he just assumes that I am virtue signaling, but he's not understanding the argument I'm making correctly. Here's the argument I am making, Vashman. Okay. When I was in eighth grade, this was like millions of years ago. When I was in eighth grade, I would have dominated the WNBA. There wasn't a WNBA player in the world that could beat me when I was in eighth grade. Okay? All right. In high school, suddenly, they started to get better. And today, a WNBA player could beat the hell out of me. On or off the court, they would beat the hell out of me. Okay? My point is, if you don't think, very, very quickly, if men were removed from the equation, a class of women would become the new, right? Like, I can't even say what I want to say because I don't want to anger the libs. I don't want to anger the libs, so I can't even say what I want to say. Hopefully, could you just watch a Brittany Griner interview, and then I think maybe you will know what I mean. I think you will perhaps understand what I'm saying. But if you think I'm virtue signaling, I'm doing the opposite of virtue signaling. What I'm saying is if there was no men, that you would have a female Putin. You would have a female Genghis Khan. You would have a female, all those things. So I'm doing the opposite of virtue signaling, in fact.